2021 nomination day, day 2, where the first candidate to be nominated is en route to Kyambogo grounds now. That is the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu of the National Unity Platform. And then later we expect the Honorable Patrick Amuriat Oboy of the Forum for Democratic Change as well to be heading to the same destination. Yesterday we had 3 generals of the NRA war actually being nominated successfully. 2 civilians who came through were not able to be nominated for failing to produce evidence of payment of the non-refundable fee of 20 million shillings as required by the Electoral Commission. And so we are about 5 minutes from the township of Kisasi. If the traffic flow is constant, we'll be making our way through the township and going through down to the northern bypass, and then making our way through the township of Ntinda, and then from Ntinda we should be heading to the Spear Motors junction there, and then we'll turn left and head towards the Kyambogo University cricket grounds, where actually the actual exercise is supposed to be taking place right here. And so far the traffic movement is smooth. A few instances where actually police barricaded the roads and had to fire tear gas to disperse excited supporters of the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu as he makes his way to the Kyambogo cricket grounds for nomination. And also it is day 2 of the nominations, and so Simon will be keeping tabs and watching as the convoy moves. We'll also be looking at the conduct of the security agencies as they come out to maintain law and order on the streets. Remember, the Electoral Commission said no processions are allowed, but the candidates from the opposition mainly have questioned that instruction, saying it has no grounding in the Constitution. And right there, another round of tear gas to clear the way as we reach actually a place commonly known as Ndundu, and then police had to fire a round of tear gas there to disperse excited supporters to clear the way, and we go into the valley and make our way to Kisasi Township.
In Kisasi, where I'm standing, as you're heading to the Nala roundabout and the northern bypass, the road that goes to Bukoto has been blocked, the road that slopes down to Kulambira has been blocked, and the road that is coming from Kisasi, where that connects to Gayaza, is being allowed the road is being let free. But I can confirm that a mammoth of people carrying Robert Kyagulanyi's posters, flyers, banners, name it, they're all here, and police has been enforced and to make sure that people are in order. But of course, you can see that people are on the road, but no masks, no anything that you can confirm that the SOPs are being followed. I can confirm that police is letting some of its cars move away from here as they're heading to the Nala side. I can see very many border borders coming from Gayaza side. That is the Kisasi side, and people are jubilating. And I can see that Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu might be on his way. I can confirm that Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is here and passing in Kisasi as he's heading for nomination. The Honorable Alhaji Latif Salagala is the first to be on the road, and of course here is police trying to make sure that they follow in. A journalist car is also here, and Robert Kyagulanyi is right here with the Segirinya and some of the other contestants. Robert Kyagulanyi is right there. Robert Kyagulanyi is right there with his fiancée Bobi in their white car with the bodyguards. Behind is Honorable Zake and the aspirant of Nakawa West, that is Joel Senyonyi. They are stuck. Police have stopped them here in Kisasi, and people are jubilating. People are waving at him. That is the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu heading to Kyambogo for nomination. A mammoth of people here are following up. Very many cars are right here. I can confirm that you cannot stop these people because police is overpowered here in Chambogo, here in Tisasi, I mean. And very many people are not exceeding, most of the people here are not following the SOPs. Police is overpowered. A mammoth of people are just jubilating and waving at the Honorable. Police is just watching on. I can confirm that Robert Chagulanyi is in Tisasi, and right now is heading to the Nyala roundabout, getting up close to the northern bypass to Ntinda, and of course going for the nomination in Chambogo. Police is just following up. They're not stopping anybody. Let me hand over to Bagaya, who is in Ntinda, to give us what is happening right there.
Well, happening here in Ntinda, where we are standing by waiting for the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu Elias Bobi Wine, who will be proceeding through this route, through Ntinda up towards Nakawa, where he will be proceeding to Chambogo University Cricket Grounds to be nominated. But from what we can see here, the supporters of Robert Chagulanyi have already come to the streets on the different sides of the road, and actually from what we're seeing, they're jubilating, and some of them are holding placards, others are holding palm trees, sweeping the road, others are wearing the N.U.P red colors. As you can see, the border people are actually trying to hype themselves out. People who are actually singing the song, the anthem of N.U.P as they were anticipating. The gentleman, as you see here, is holding a radio, and he's marching they're waiting for their candidate Robert Chagulanyi to pass by. But he is with Sabiti Joseph on the procession. Sabiti, what is happening? How far have you reached?
Where the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. All right, we are at the township of Tisasi, where supporters of the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu have gathered, slowing down traffic, and police continues to try to clear the way here. Excited supporters of the Chadondo East MP are coming to the streets. Business actually coming to a standstill here in Kisasi. Interesting development here. We see a police van that is used for arrests has joined the convoy, and so we're monitoring that vehicle. The UP 4923 is usually used for arrests during police operations. It has a cage in which suspects are actually kept. That is the vehicle that has been added to the fleet of the convoy here. But it is basically a bumper-to-bumper situation here in the township of Kisasi. Remember, it's been quite a journey from Magere, going through a number of police barricades manned by both the Uganda Police Force and officers and men of the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the local defense unit of the force as well. And they have been on the roads, occasionally tear gas fired to clear the way. 3 instances that I can quote so far where tear gas has been fired to actually disperse excited supporters. Every township that we have been to has seen actually the convoy come to a standstill. Right now, we are in one place. We want to see what the police will do to clear the way for the Honorable Chagulanyi Sentamu, who should, according to the appointment, be at the Chambogo Cricket Grounds at exactly 10 a.m., 2 hours before the Honorable Engineer Patrick Amoriat. As well, let's go live to the FDC headquarters at Najanakumbi, where my colleague Kanari Mugume is keeping tabs on the developments there.
Well, Sabit Joseph, what you're seeing are events of an arrest, violent arrest of the FDC presidential flag bearer Patrick Amoriato Boy. This is a Uganda police car that they have forced him into after they violently forced him out of his own private car, and he's now been taken into the Uganda police car violently, and this is an action done by the Uganda police force. And what we are thinking is that he's going to be taken directly either to a police station to be detained, or he is going to be whisked away until Chambogo, so that the planned procession, as earlier planned by the FDC members and the FDC presidential flag bearer Patrick Amoriato Boy, do not happen. He just arrived 5 minutes away, and he is being whisked away in a Uganda police car. What you're seeing right now are events of the Uganda police force trying to actually whisk away Patrick Amoriato Boy. He is directly in this Corolla car with number plates of the Uganda police. the FDC presidential flag bearer is in that specific Corolla car, and he's being whisked away, heavily guarded and heavily patrolled by the Uganda police force. This action was commanded by the DPC of the area, and Patrick Amriato Boy, I can confirm he has been arrested by the Uganda police force. Let's now cross over to Joseph Sabiti, who is on standby for an update.
We're making our way to the northern bypass, where we are supposed to be connecting to the Ntinda township, the last town before Nakawa, and before we make our way to Chadondo. The atmosphere smells tear gas. Occasionally, police having to actually, hurl tear gas at the excited supporters who have come on the streets to actually witness the journey of the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to the nomination center at Kyambogo. And so we are getting to the Ntinda Kisasi roundabout, taking our right, and right there, the sounds are loud as police fires tear gas in the atmosphere right there to actually supporters of the Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu right there, who have gathered here at the northern bypass roundabout, where he is supposed to be joining actually and right there, business is affected by people running away from the tear gas that police has fired here. The fourth instance where police has had to fire tear gas here, and we are just a few meters from the Ntinda Kisasi roundabout, where we are expected to turn right and then turn right again to head towards the township of Nakawa, and then after that we will be making our way to actually Kyambogo, where actually everything will be coming to a climax because we expect the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to be nominated right from there, and many police patrol cars as well joining the party here, and you can actually see the number of patrol cars increasing along the way, and police again right there. The sound that you hear is actually of the tear gas canisters being fired by police to clear the way. Excited supporters defying the directives of the police and the Electoral Commission and coming out in numbers to actually, make sure that they wave to their supporter who, flanked by his wife and Nakawa West parliamentary aspirant Joel Senyonyi, top their cars, waving to excited supporters, holding an umbrella, which is a symbol of actually the National Unity platform. It's a slow drive towards the Kisasi and Ntinda roundabout along the northern bypass here, where actually the final turn leaving Kisasi is supposed to happen. After that, we'll be heading towards the township of Ntinda in about 5 minutes if traffic is smooth, and then we'll make our way to actually the Spear Motors Junction, and then from there we know that we'll be a few minutes from Kyambogo, where actually the nomination is taking place. We're also keeping tabs on the activities in the FDC camp. Right there, the tear gas canisters continue to go high and high, fired by police, and right there, see motorists actually abandoning their vehicles to actually escape from the tear gas canisters that have been fired by police right there. It's a slow ride, and the police motorcycles, patrol cars have had a busy day trying to clear the way for the movement of the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, alias Bobi Wine, who will be the first candidate to be nominated on day 2 of the presidential nominations 2020. If nominated successfully, he will be on the ballot to run for president of the Republic, with the Ugandans expected to go to the ballot in actually February. The date for polls that we expect should be fixed after today, because the Electoral Commission quotes the law saying that they are only allowed to fix the nomination, polling day for the presidency after actually the nominations have happened. And so we keep our tabs here. We are still a few meters away from actually the roundabout here of Kisasi and Ntinda, where we expect to take a right turn and head towards the township of Ntinda, and then we'll drive straight and actually go to Nakawa. There is also reports, our team on the ground confirms that there is heavy deployment of both the police and the military in Ntinda and Nakawa. It has been the story from Magere, where the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi started his journey to nomination from, and we'll be looking forward to how that will happen. And so we keep a tight watch here, and if you've just joined us, you're watching our comprehensive coverage of UG Votes 2021 nomination day 2. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu on appointment for 10 a.m. and having his way to that place. But of course, his supporters having running battles with the police here, occasionally police firing tear gas. No major instances so far, but everywhere we have been, we have seen a heavy deployment of the police and the military, and actually people who have come out to wave, to the Honorable Chagulanyi, continue to come on the streets, and we'll be continuing to monitor what exactly is happening here live from the northern bypass, where actually we will be making a left turn, rather, since there's a construction here, and then we'll be heading to actually the situation in Tinda, where we have reports of heavy military deployment in not just in Tinda, but also in Nakawa, because from here we head to the township of Tinda, and after that we will be going, and people crossing the road, even when the vehicles are on high speed trying to catch up with the Honorable Chagulanyi there. And from here we will have one major township before Nakawa, which is the Junction township, and then after that we will be heading straight to the Chambogo University cricket grounds, where actually the nomination is going to be taking place. And so far we are about 5 minutes from the township of Ntinda, if traffic is not interrupted, where the Honorable Chagulanyi is expected to be actually connecting to Nakawa from. And once we get to Nakawa, and then it will be our destination will be a couple of minutes away. And we continue to keep tabs as well on all the presidential candidates due for nomination today. We're keeping tabs on Joseph Kabuleta, an independent candidate, the Honorable Patrick Amuriat of the Forum for Democratic Change. We authoritatively confirm that the police has been in control at the party headquarters, sealing off the party headquarters to many of the leaders who tried to access it. We wait to see if that will have any impact on the nomination of the Honorable Patrick Amuriat Oboy of the Forum for Democratic Change, who will be flying the ticket for the first time since the party's founding president, Dr. Kizza Besigye, decided not to run for election, saying he has instead opted for a plan B that he says is actually liberation, saying that is the phase he is in. And excited supporters of the Honorable Chagulanyi defying the security directive and Electoral Commission directive not to join the procession, coming out in numbers to actually wave to their presidential candidate. The police van there with close proximity to the vehicle of the Honorable Chagulanyi is actually used for arrests, and so we're keeping keeping a keen eye on that vehicle as well, and what it will be used for today. And that's the latest here from actually en route to Ntinda, where the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu is headed to before he connects to the township of Nakawa, and then after Nakawa he'll be actually making his way to the Chambogo cricket grounds, where the nomination exercise is expected to be happening. Let's go live to my colleague Victoria Bagaya, who as well is monitoring the situation on the streets.
I'm going to cover the action. Well, happening here in Ntinda Trading Center, the pictures you're seeing live on your TV set is the crowds that have collected on the streets of Ntinda, on the stretch as you head to Tisasi roundabout, anticipating that Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu will be passing here as he proceeds. As you can see, there is a police patrol car that is in there trying to make sure that they disperse. From the pictures you can actually see, it is a cocktail of security officials and security presence here in Ntinda. The military, anti-riot police, we have the Uganda police, we have the traffic police, LDUs as well. They have actually heavily deployed in the middle of the road as they anticipate that the crowds could actually be becoming rowdy. At an earlier point, there's a point in time the supporters got round of information that he had actually been diverted to a different place, and they did try to follow the other route of Chigoa. The pictures that you see right now is people who are getting heavily excited. The road is actually very much blocked. As you can see, the people are celebrating the borders that are decorated with balloons. Those that are actually donned in the party colors of N.U.P in red as well, that actually they are celebrating in the middle of the road. Just somewhere in the middle there, you can see somebody who's actually carrying a placard, a poster of Robert Chagulanyi, lifting it up in the air. The road is actually blocked at the point In the middle where you see the balloons, the people are celebrating the pouring water in the air. They were singing the N.U.P national anthem and celebrating as they await for Robert Chagulanyi, who we anticipate will be passing here. From what we see, police and the security officials are actually getting ready so they can be able to minimize and make sure that nothing can distract the traffic. We don't know how it's going to play out, because the supporters have actually already blocked off the road. From you can see the commander here is telling everyone who is standing next to the road to actually move down. The pictures that you see right now is police chasing everybody, the military right there, telling everybody who is just on the road to spectate to actually move down. The whole entire Ntinda junction has been blocked off by security officials, military trucks that are actually blocking up the road. But one thing we have been asking ourselves, is what happened to the blockade. From the pictures that you see, people celebrating. Sabit Joseph, how far have you reached? Are you almost in Ntinda? The crowds are getting rowdy.
We certainly bring you up to speed on every bit as it unfolds. Chambogo is set, the nomination venue for today's candidates, today's aspirants. Yesterday was a smooth exercise. It went off with a few incidents, but well, today we are watching quite a lot of things that would be happening. Mr. Ndebesa, what you've seen so far and what happened yesterday, does it depict the cost of democracy?
Cost of democracy? First of all, I don't think that this should be the ideal democratic exercise, because limiting people to exercise their rights is not a democratic exercise. This is not to say that I would be supporting people mixing during COVID-19. No, there should not have been elections. Once you allow elections, then you allow these ones at the same time. You cannot say that, as some people have been saying, that once you are selling fish, you cannot avoid having the flies around you. Of course. So you cannot avoid this excitement. By the way, you can see from the pictures that these youngsters on the streets are more excited than angry. They are not angry. They are making merry. They are just jumping around.
Let me interrupt you now. Let's go to Vicky Bagaya. Vicky, the procession is making its way to Chambogo. Where exactly are you and what is the situation?
Well, right now we are in Ntinda Trading Center. The crowds are getting rowdy. They've just fired tear gas to disperse the crowds that had blocked off the road. Police has taken over. The military has stopped right here in the middle. I can assure you that tear gas, I can confirm the tear gas has been fired in Ntinda, but the supporters have refused to go away. They insist that they will be here on the streets celebrating as they wait for Chagulanyi. Police has blocked off this road. And what we can see is a procession right there. Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu with the wife, Bobi Itungo, right there. Bobi just wiped off the tears. Right there, Robert Chagulanyi proceeding to Ntinda. Robert Chagulanyi, the people of Ntinda have been waiting celebrations. I can see Francis Zaka, I can see Joel Senyonyi. Right there, Latif Sebagala also in the procession. The people of Ntinda are celebrating. People are jumping up and down. The military has taken over right this side. On the other side, the military has blocked off everybody. And right now, the supporters have been blocked from proceeding towards Ntinda. They're celebrating, but the military has taken over control. Right now, what you can see is on the other side, if we can actually show you, on the other side, the people have actually blocked off the road as Robert Chagulanyi is anticipated to proceed and head over to Chambogo cricket grounds, where he is expected to be nominated. Right there on top of the Land Cruiser, Robert Chagulanyi waving to his supporters as he proceeds to Chambogo grounds. The people are celebrating, they are welcoming him and cheering on him and showing jubilations and support of Robert Chagulanyi. The police, very, very active as they're trying to calm down the supporters of Robert Chagulanyi, who are running with a motorcade towards Chabago. Right now we're trying to run towards where he's headed, but the people have become really rowdy, and from what we see is Robert Chagulanyi proceeding over to the Nakawa stretcher, where he will be able to cross over to Nakawa and proceed to Chaudondo grounds, to Chambago grounds, where he's expected to actually be nominated. All right, Sabiti, take over. What is happening as you proceed to Chambago?
Well, from the water points being put for sanitizing to fight COVID-19, they are now centers for washing the tear gas for supporters of the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, who have actually been and finally the police releases the pink water into the atmosphere to disperse the supporters of the Honorable Chagulanyi. Here the road proceeding to where the Honorable Chagulanyi is has been cordoned off, and so we are held back a bit. Police fires tear gas into the air and colored water mixed with whatever chemicals is there flying in the air here in the township in Tinda. So far, the route to where we're supposed to go to connect to Chambogo has been sealed off by the military, and finally traffic being allowed through one by one. People are gathering actually on different sides of the road to wave to the candidate who has just made their way right here. But Simon, very sad developments. I think I noticed about 2 people who have been hit on the road, and also noticed one individual who actually lost his arm, I think after a tear gas canister was hurled, and police continues to fire tear gas here in the township of Ntinda to disperse excited supporters of the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. He has already made his way past the military barricade here, but all the cars, including the press vehicles, have been blocked here, and so we're trying to see if we can make our way right here. We want to see how that goes, but the military cordoning off the road here and trying to actually block a lot of cars that were trying to make their way here in the rather detailed nomination detail of the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. And finally, we have the military clearing the way, so we will have to do a chase, and that chase will lead us to actually the cricket grounds at Chambogo, where the nomination exercise of the Honorable Chagulanyi Sentamu is expected to take place. We have just made our way past the township of Ntinda here, and our next destination should be the township of Nakawa. That's the last hold-up before we actually make our way to rather Ntinda, where the nomination exercise is going to be taking place. It's been quite a journey from Magere. A number of police, operation centers actually as well mounted along the way, and so we wait to see how long it will take for us to be cleared here to actually make our way to the grounds at Chambogo. We want to see what the police officers have actually blocked the road there. If you can just go there to see why exactly the officer is blocking the way, because most of the vehicles that are actually being blocked belong to the press, and the officer here, if you can just show you his face, the one who has been blocked. It's the 3rd attempt actually he has at blocking the press. Right here is the gentleman who has blocked the way for members of the press all the way. It's the 3rd time he's doing that. All the other vehicles have been allowed, but members of the press have been blocked, and finally he has allowed the members of the press to actually make the way here. We continue to try to make our way to Chambogo, where the Honorable Chagulanyi is expected to be heading to in the next couple of minutes, live from the township of Ntinda right here. Hey.
Confirms that in a few minutes from now, Bobi Wine is going to be up here. They'll work there. Yes, I can confirm that Bobi Wine is getting here just in a few minutes from now, and then you can see dozens of people that are on the other side that are chanting, and then there's heavy deployment in this place, and it starts with the military that is on the other side, and then police officers here, and you can see that many people are on the other side and they're not allowed to cross, to come closer to this roadblock that was put here that can actually take you to where Chambogo is. But there are thousands of people. Before this happened, the police officers were trying to chase away people to leave who were chanting "People Power, Our Power," and then singing the anthem of the People Power or National Unity Platform. But we can confirm that, now is happening or is going to be here in just a few minutes. I can confirm that I've been able to see the National Unity Platform Secretary General, and that is David Lewis Lubongoe, who came alongside Nubian Lee and music producer Sadan Magic, and they were allowed to enter, apart from Dan Magic and other gentlemen that I wasn't able to recognize. But the two were able to be allowed to enter, and that is David Lewis Lubongoe alongside Nubian Lee. And they are already now in Chambogo, I can confirm, as hundreds of people are actually standing on the roadside waiting for Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, commonly known as Bobi Wine. And the chanting is still on, but there's heavy deployment, if I can say, from the police, from the military police, to mention but a few. And they are not allowing people to come closer to this point where they cross over to Chambogo, or where many people had thought that they were going to be standing and thinking that they were going to chant or support their candidate or their person. So you can see the police officers are being ordered to run towards where the point Bobi Wine is going to come from, and that's why we are running, to make sure that we give you the updates of what is happening right here from the other point. And thousands of people are here chanting Bobi Wine, and you can see right about now, Bobi Wine is about to be here in just a blink of an eye, if I may say, because you can see this has not been the situation in just a couple of minutes ago. But now this shows that the signs are all here, and then the chanting is on. The motorcyclists are here, and then you can see what is happening now. But I can guarantee you that it will be very difficult for people to cross this point, because there is military officers that are in this place that do not allow. I will first take you to my colleague, that is Joseph Sabit, to keep us updated from what is happening on his side.
All right, we are on the Ntinda Stretcher Road with the candidate of the National Unity Platform, the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. He has made a stopover at a Shell Stretcher here on Ntinda Nakawa Road, and we want to see what will be happening. The police keeping a keen eye on his supporters right there, and actually as we continue to monitor the situation here, remember he was supposed to be at Chambogo at actually 10 a.m. For the nomination exercise. Let's see what exactly will happen here, because it appears the police are walking towards his vehicle. He's parked here at Shell Stretcher, where actually his vehicle has come to a stop. We look forward to finding out what exactly is happening right there, but that is where the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's vehicle is, right there. I don't know what exactly the situation is, but we're moving towards the vehicle here at a Shell petrol station along the Ntinda Stretcher highway, where actually his vehicle has come to a stop. It looks like the car has actually had issues there, and people from the petrol station are trying to actually work on it right there. It looks like there's a flat tire that they're trying to deal with here at a Stretcher, a few minutes to the township of Ntinda, where actually he's supposed to be taking a left turn and heading towards Chambogo, where actually he will be nominated from. The appointment was 10 a.m. Engineer Patrick Amuri Atoboy was actually midday for Engineer Patrick Amuri Atoboy. We want to see if we can just have a quick chat with the Honorable Kyagulanyi, a quick one in regard to what exactly he says about the situation so far. A very good morning to you, sir. What would you say about your journey so far?
Man, what can I do? What can I say?
What would you say is your experience so far?
It's crazy. It is the police that has been blocking us. Apparently, a canister has hit our tire, and now the boys are trying to change it. But like we told them, we're trying to be as peaceful as possible. We want to disprove them. Yeah.
Your appointment is for 10 o'clock. Isn't it a race against time now?
Well, it's a race against time. I left my house more than an hour ago. I left my house at 8:45. you know, and it has been 1 hour and 15 minutes. But every now and then, the police stops. I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to delay me, but I'm going to get there. You can't be sure.
Okay. What lies ahead of you if you're nominated successfully today? What does your program look like as a candidate if confirmed?
Well, we are just heading up from the nomination. We'll head to Kamocha to unveil our manifesto and communicate to the people.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, for speaking to NBS Television live from Shell petrol station here on Ntinda Stretcher Road, where the mechanics have actually been trying to deal with a tire situation here at the petrol station. He actually says a canister had hit the tires, but they are certainly working on it. It should be setting off again for actually Kyambogo in the next couple of minutes. He's flanked by a number of members of parliament, including the Honorable Asman Basal of Bujiri, and as well as the Honorable Matthias Sampuga of Masaka Municipality. We have Francis Zake of Metiana Municipality, the Honorable John Baptist Nambeshe of Manjia County, and we also see the Honorable Latif Sebagala of Kawempe North, and a couple of other leaders within the National Unity Platform, and we want to see how the police will respond to this situation. We also have a number of candidates in the election actually making their way here to, stand in solidarity with the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu here. That's what we have for now from a stretcher here, where the vehicle of the Honorable Chagulanyi has come to us to our hall. Let's get back into the vehicle to make sure that we are on standby to actually continue moving. And right there on your screen is Joel Senyonyi, a journalist turned politician who is now running for the Nakawa West parliamentary seat. We can confirm that the tires have been fixed, and our journey to Kyambogo cricket grounds starts right now, when actually the police is trying again to clear the way, and as well as make sure that it's a smooth drive to that destination where, if all goes well, the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu is expected to be declared as a presidential candidate alongside 3 generals of the 1986 revolution who were nominated yesterday. Let's keep you posted on every development as it happens here from the Shell petrol station at Nakawa, and the vehicle already on the move right there. That means we should be re-embarking on our journey to actually the Kyambogo grounds, where the situation will come to a climax, because that is the destination where the nomination exercise is expected to be taking place. A number of police patrol cars having quite a busy day today because they have to do whatever it takes to make sure that there's no disruption to the road. And so we'll keep you updated in regard to everything that happens here.
Well, lots of developments emerging so far as Chagulanyi's procession makes its way to Kyambogo at the cricket venue where nomination is supposed to take place. On the other side, along Entebbe Road, there's also some activity after the arrest of Patrick Oboya Muriat. He's been whisked off to places we are yet to know. On the other side, like we've shown you in all our splits, at the Nakawa Junction, there is heavy deployment awaiting the arrival of Honorable Chagulanyi, who is supposed to be at Kyambogo at the venue of nominations. He set off from home about 20 minutes to 9 o'clock, and he's been on the journey since. He's experienced a number of stopovers, and of course he's interfaced with riot police armed with batons and shields. There is a lot of confrontations between the enthusiastic public and security. We wait to see how the day shapes up in the course of the day. But again, if I could ask you in a minute, here at the Political Command Center, we continue bringing you everything as it unfolds. Is it energizing you? Because initially you were not feeling the pulse of the campaigns.
Myself?
Yes.
No, I'm not so emotional to be energized by these pictures I'm seeing. I am concerned about the future of Uganda. I'm concerned about the future of these young people who are braving all what they are passing through, making fun. They are not even angry enough to demonstrate what they are pursuing. We need to settle this country and get out of this securitized politics. Not excitement around, because excitement is not going to make us a strong country of Uganda. We set out to have a middle income status by 2020. We have not achieved it, and we just remain in this business. We were supposed to be a democratic country, a united country, an integrated country. We are still in what we are seeing here in Kampala. So we should be angry about the situation and seek for a solution to the problems by having a negotiated political settlement between all the different political players, not just running around the street, because this running around the street can cause a political accident, because somebody can die, a politician can die, somebody can die, and it can be a trigger. This jubilation you are seeing around, this amusement you are seeing around can be turned into anger, and the situation explodes. For example, if there is nomination for candidates, why should the Kampala be like a war zone? The military is deployed, the police is around.
Yes.
We shouldn't be in this situation, and we shouldn't just laugh at it and be joyous about it and play around it. We should be serious.
Well, more updates coming our way as Honorable Bobi Wine makes his way to Chambogo at the nomination venue. Joseph Sabiti, where exactly have you reached, and what kind of situation are you confronting?
We're heading back to actually to Nakawa now, the Nakawa Junction, before we head left towards the Chambogo cricket grounds. And so far the situation is calm. The heavy military and police presence continues, but actually the supporters of the Honorable Kyagulanyi continue to actually make their way right here without actually heeding to the instructions of the security agencies, including the situation that involved tear gas as well, that was hurled. And we actually saw an unfortunate image where someone lost their hand, I think, after they were hit by the tear gas canister there around the Chichanja, Chisathi Straits right there. A very unfortunate event there. We also saw actually a situation whereby someone, about 2 people we witnessed were actually knocked as well on the way here as the procession made their way. And so we're finally making our way to the Spear Motors Junction, where we expect the Honorable Kyagulanyi to turn left and head towards the nomination grounds at Chambogo Cricket Grounds. After that, he will undergo the nomination exercise. If successful, he will be handed a security detail that includes a patrol lead car and actually 4 security officers for the campaign trail and 4 for his home. And then he will proceed to the media tent, where he's expected to speak to the media. And so we'll be looking forward to what he will say after all that is done. And also, we'll be keeping a very keen eye on his exit from Chambogo. A police car that is used for arrests has been added to his convoy. We'll be monitoring to see if he will make a safe return back to Magere, his residence. For now, excited people right next to a police barracks here in Nakawa actually continue to come on the streets to wave to the Chadondo East legislator. Here we make our way to the Nakawa Spear Motors Junction, from where we are supposed to take left and head towards actually the Chambogo cricket grounds. And so once we bypass the junction, then it should be a 5-minute drive to the nomination grounds. Set time of appointment was 10 a.m. and so we'll wait to see how that will play out the other side. We also monitoring on the developments inside the Forum for Democratic Change after getting reports that the Honorable Engineer Patrick Amuriat actually could be in the hands of security after he was whisked off. The FDC headquarters have been cordoned off by security for the better part of the morning, and no access has been allowed to that place, according to reports by my colleague Kanare Mugume, who is keeping a keen eye there. And so for now, the drive heads towards the Nakawa Spare Motors Junction. Let's go live to my colleague Daniel Lutaya, who is manning at the nomination center.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph Sabeti. Well, we can confirm that Patrick Oboya Muriat has arrived at Kyambogo on board a police car, a Corona Toyota, Uganda Police number 4865. And there he is. He was picked from Najana Nkumbi. He has no shoes. His shoes, he's just in socks and looks roughed up a bit. He was, when we could just see inside the car, he was, struggling with the police officers who were in there. And he has arrived hours before his set time for nomination, and he's now having an altercation with the Uganda police and probably trying to ask them why he had to be brought in such a manner. Now, Patrick Oboya Muriat, the FDC presidential aspirant, also flag bearer and president of the party, is sanitizing, washing his hands. He will go through the walk-through sanitizing machine and then head to the holding tent where all presidential aspirants are meant to sit. And there is Patrick Oboya Muriat now visibly pissed at the Uganda police at what they have done. And we just want to talk to the Honorable Patrick Oboya Muriat. You came aboard a police vehicle. How has it been for you?
Well, of course, it's not been easy. This is extremely annoying that I would be harassed this way. And I don't understand whether there's democracy in our country. When a regime chooses to do this on a potential candidate, I think this is really, I violated nothing. I have come here forcefully. You can see how I am, without my shoes.
Do you think that in your understanding, do you think that you did anything to provoke the police to
Never, not at all. I merely went to my headquarters to collect my papers. I have been forced to come here without my papers. And this is really very, very unbecoming.
What about your team? Where is your team right now?
I do not know where they are. That is really the big question. I come here without a proposer. I come here without a seconder. I come here without even the 10 who would have been allowed to come here. So I really do not know. This is a test case for the Electoral Commission, whether they are prepared to ensure that there's democracy in this country. But I feel very strong about this because this is happening to me because of the defense of the people that I have stood for all this time.
Right. Well, that's Patrick Oboya Muriat, the president of the Forum for Democratic Change and also presidential aspirant for the Forum for Democratic Change. He's now heading to a holding tent to my far right. There are officials from the National Unity Platform who are in this holding tent right here. So we expect that the presidential aspirant from the N.U.P, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, when he comes, will sit in this particular holding tent right here. Let's head back to Sabiti Joseph, who is on the trail with Kyagulanyi.
All right, we're live from the Nakawa Spare Motors Junction, where the military and the police has actually cordoned off and stopped the convoy of the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu from making their way past here. They're supposed to be turning left and heading towards the nomination ground. And so police and the military have sealed off this place here. They have put barricades on the road. We wait to see whether he will actually be allowed to go through. Police officers actually roughing up a journalist here for crossing to the other side right there. We can just try to see who exactly his identity is. This police officer who is actually roughing up a journalist here. His crime is trying to cover the events happening here. And again, we see another altercation here between police officers and the police actually, and journalists being pushed away by police. The place that actually has the way where the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu should pass has been cordoned off, and now the barricade is being released there. It is a combination of the military police and actually the Uganda police force here. And right there, we see finally the vehicle that the Honorable Kyagulanyi is using, making its way after he passes here. It should be a smooth drive to Kyambogo. My colleague Daniel Lutaya will be receiving him on the other side. And right here, the Kampala Metropolitan Traffic Police officers and as well as members of the military police actually continue to, make their way here. And finally, he has been let to go. And off, right here, somebody has actually as well, it looks right here, an altercation between his security detail and actually the police here, and the police personnel rounding up the vehicle of the Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu here. We wait to see what exactly will be happening. It looks like right there, the arrest happening here. And look here, one of his staff actually, Selector Devi, police tried to grab him there. He has survived and made his way. And off the vehicle goes towards Kyambogo, where actually he will be nominated from, and the military and the police actually blocking the rest of the convoys right here at the Spare Motors Junction in Nakawa. The Honorable Kyagulanyi. And right there, you see a police officer actually pepper spraying someone deliberately. And so let's keep monitoring the situation here. Pepper spray is being actually hurled into the faces of people, and police has blocked traffic. The road is actually sealed off. No one is allowed to pass through here. And many people are left in tears after pepper spray actually has been hurled into the faces of many of the people here. The rest of the people, including the seconders and actually people who are escorting the Honorable Kyagulanyi, have been stopped. And so we wait to see whether he will go through his nomination exercise successfully without the people. The Honorable Patrick Amuriatoboy arrived on his nomination day without shoes, as he was supposed to be arriving in a presidential. And then we see actually officers as well dealing with the pain of the pepper spray that has been held here. And so let's cross to actually Michael. And so right here, you see actually one of the leaders here, the mayor of Kawempe, being arrested by the police right here. Probably he has been suffering from the tear gas and as well as the pepper spray that has been hurled into the face of the people here. And right there, the mayor of actually right there. All right, the first arrest could be here in our faces, as this police officer at the rank of an assistant superintendent of police is actually involved in an altercation with actually one of the leaders here in the National Unity Platform after they hurled pepper spray into his eyes, and an assistant superintendent of police is actually fighting with him.
I'm a leader. You can't treat me like that. That's bad. And I pay you a tax.
All right, let's cross over to my colleague Daniel Lutaya, who is monitoring the situation at the nomination center in Kyambogo.
Thank you, Sabiti. Well, at Kyambogo, it is about to go down, if I'm to use such language. I can count about 50 city police officers that are heavily armed with bulletproof vests, with hard hats, with helmets. We have also seen the K9 unit of the Uganda police also represented here. I can confirm that there isn't any military presence so far in Kyambogo, but the Uganda police is most certainly ensuring that security is very tight here, because one of the most important parts of the democracy of this country is taking place in the tent that is right behind us. And as you can see, we expect the candidate any moment from now. He's 30 minutes late, but according to the Electoral Commission, he can get nominated even before 5 p.m. when they close. So anytime before 5 will be good enough time for him to get nominated. He has 2 hours of time, so 1.5 hours left on his appointment. Robert Kyagulanyi